only are you going to have to get a permit, you're going to have to pay a tax. That's great. Tax capital flight capital, right? The idea that, the U.S. and the British have been boasting, London economists boasting, oh, look at all this wonderful flight capital. The Russians are going to be left holding nothing, but their eyes to cry with. Well, you put an end to that by capital controls and exchange controls. And I'm not just making this up. Go to my Twitter feed there, Webster G. Tarpley, and you will see I have linked there to all kinds of articles that talk about generally the British. It's precisely somebody well connected to the services, like Ambrose Evans Pritchard of the London Daily Telegraph, an old enemy. He talks openly, saying, "Oh, there's a danger. Oh, the worst thing they could do would be to have these terrible. Everybody's afraid of capital controls and exchange controls." No, that's exactly what you want to have. And remember, right now the ruble, as of about the last several weeks, has been floating. So dirty float. It's floating, but every now and then you come in and you try to do a bear squeeze, right? You try to punish the people that are short the ruble by driving it up a little bit. Okay, try to bankrupt some of them. That is the overall reality, but the idea is you're still going to be using up reserves, right? If they have 400 to 450 billion of dollar and euro and hard currency reserves, that can go out the window in a week if you try to defend a valuation for the ruble. So don't do it. Go to the Glaziev plan. Back in a minute.
Hi, this is Larry Smith. Sometimes bad things happen to good people. When the cleaners ruined some special clothing, all they could do was show us a sign that said they weren't responsible. But when they got the letter from one of our Legal Shield attorneys, he promptly gave us a check for $1,152. Worry less and live more with lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com, or call 855-340-SAVE. That's 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
We love that you're passionate about GCN. And whether you're a listener, a business owner, or a radio industry professional, we've redesigned the new GCN newsletter to keep you in the know. Get updates on your favorite GCN shows and hosts. Go to GCNlive.com and click on the banner in the upper left corner. Just for signing up, you're automatically entered for monthly giveaways. Start receiving your newsletter today. The future of talk radio. GCN.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Do you have relatives and friends that are convinced there is no need ever to prepare for any kind of emergency? Are these also folks you buy Christmas presents for? At 30dayfoodsupply.com, we can solve both of these problems at the same time. Go to 30dayfoodsupply.com or call 541-229-0010. We can ship your Christmas presents directly to them. Choose from our original $99 30-day food supply, our long-term storage vegan burger mixes, and other oatmeal, soups, porridges, beans, and granolas for everyday use. All products are are non-GMO, MSG-free, and vegetarian. Most are gluten, soy, and nut-free. Call 541-229-0010 today. Oregon Trail Foods and 30dayfoodsupply.com keep prices low, cutting out the middleman by buying directly from their producers in Oregon. Remember, only $10 ships your entire order to the lower 48. Visit the website 30dayfoodsupply.com. Call 541-229-0010. 30dayfoodsupply.com. 541-229-0010.
On Facebook, on the news, and in conversations with friends, we're bombarded every day with advice on how to be healthier, from gluten-free and non-GMO diets to how much exercise and sleep the body needs. But how much have you heard about alkalizing the body? AlkaVision Plasma pH drops are a holistic and natural way to get your body's pH levels back in balance. Just a few drops in water will help your body rid itself of harmful waste. And even the healthiest of diets can be complemented with your daily use of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops. Who isn't looking for more vibrance, vigor, and energy? Now buy 2 bottles of AlkaVision Plasma pH drops and get $10 off your order. Visit alkavision.com or call 800-518-7615. AlkaVision Plasma pH drops are packed with a powerful combination of the most alkaline minerals and compounds. Open the door to greater health, vitality, and zest for life. Alkalize your body. Supercharge your health. Call 800-518-7615 or head to alkavision.com.
A little right, a little left, but always independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GC.
Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. Before we go any further, let me tell you concerning the class, the cadre school, the symposium, the econothon, the acceleration program, what can we say, total immersion, weekend short course, the political economy of the American system. We are closing in on venues. We've identified a number of choices. It's probably going to be that time there, the 23rd, 24th, 25th of January. I hope by the next program to give you the specifics, but don't wait for that. Follow the Webster G. Tarpley Twitter feed, and I'll have it up there as soon as we ink the deal. We'll tell you, but it's coming. You want to do something in the meantime to get ready? Go and buy Surviving the Cataclysm, your guide through the greatest financial crisis in human history, with the second edition, I recommend. Second edition, which includes significant commentary on the 2008-2009 crisis, which the book predicted. What did it predict? That we were the oncoming cataclysm. The oncoming cataclysm, that was written in 1999, just at the time that Glass-Steagall had been lifted, and above all, the liberalization and deregulation of derivatives was coming in the following year. So, Surviving the Cataclysm, try that for your holiday reading. It's about 650 pages. I urge you to buy it and read it, and especially if you want to come to this class, why it's required reading. So you get the idea. Now, having offered our advice to Russia and Putin, right? This is the weak side of Putin. Is this? Why did he have people like Greff and Kudrin in power until only a couple of years ago? And with Kudrin, he's apparently trying to come back in through the back door. Anatoly Chubais is on one of the advisory boards of J.P. Morgan Chase. Anatoly Chubais is a member of the New York Council on Foreign Relations. It is a foreign faction. The neoliberals in Russia are a foreign body projected in there by the U.S., the Federal Reserve, the British, the Bank of England, the International Monetary Fund, and so on down the line. Larry Summers was a big guy in the course of this, right? It was in the name of these neoliberals that the parliament was shot to hell in 1992. When it was being occupied, remember, by Khaspulatov and those people, right? The Red-Brown group. Well, Red-Brown, I think, is overdone. But you see, the goal was to make Russia safe for the IMF shock therapy. And the Russian people have been taken to the cleaners twice. In 91, 92, a hyperinflation of 1,500%. And then again in 1998, the state bankruptcy, the GKO default on Russian state debt in 1998, which was the peak of the Asian contagion. And now, apropos of that, if we go back to 1998, we have all of these clowns who are gloating. They're going to break the back of the Russian economy, say these Anglo-American parrots, consultants in the press. One of them, in a moment of lucidity, asked, I think, a very important question. Before you go ahead and try to break the back of the Russian economy, dear friends, says this guy, and it's in the Washington Post somewhere, he says, don't you want to think about what that will mean for the world? Now, concerning the breaking of the back may be ultra vires. In other words, it's not clear whether the Anglo-Americans can break the back of the Russian economy. I would incline to say they probably can't break the back, but they can do tremendous damage. The Anglo-American financial power remains enormous. And remember, compared to 1998, you've now got credit default swaps that can be used to attack a currency, and we've seen in the case of the drachma, the peseta, the lira, the various state bonds of those countries that used to be in those denominations. In other words, the Greeks, the Spanish, the Italians, and so forth. That's all credit default swaps that you have today that you really didn't have, at least in that form, in 1998, 1999. So if we look back, though, to 1998, what do we see? When the Russian economy got into severe difficulty, and again, bank deposits were wiped out, there was quite a bit of hyperinflation going around. What was the effect here in the West? Well, there was something called long-term capital management of Connecticut. Long-term capital management. And what happened to them? They blew, and they had various Federal Reserve people on their board. This was a real dirty, speculative derivatives operation at the time. And this blew a hole of what, 10, $20 billion of those days, 1998, into the world economy. And they were immediately given a backdoor bailout by Alan Greenspan. And man, you can read all about this in Surviving the Cataclysm, the second edition in particular. So all of that's what the thing that set the stage for the 2008 bailout was the backdoor bailout by Greenspan 10 years earlier, just about exactly. So my question now is, if in 1998 the spin-off, the byproduct of the attack on Russia was long-term capital management, who is it this time? Who is the long-term capital management of this round of economic warfare against Russia, right? So, and remember, this is boomerang time, right? It's like you let off poison gas in front of your own trenches and the wind blows it back on you. The wind changes. That can easily happen. So, which one of the zombie banks or the hedge fund hyenas, I would say quite a few hedge fund hyenas, we have word of one of the subsets of PIMCO, which had invested in Russian bonds. They're obviously in big trouble. Will that drag down at PIMCO as a whole? Right? PIMCO is troubled because we had Bill Gross driven out of PIMCO. So PIMCO may be in trouble. Who knows? And that's just the biggest bond fund. All the little people have bought bonds with PIMCO, thinking that that's valuable. Well, they've got one fund that seems to have made the wrong bet. Whether that turns into long-term capital management, I do not know. Time will tell. But always a defensive position for the individual, the little person in these situations is in order. But then it's more complicated, right? It's not just Russia that's hit by a lower oil price, and we have to say, who is the evil demiurge behind this whole thing? It's Prince Bandar.